Alright, so before we get into the video, we're going to be going through all the post-fight reviews, and we're going to be starting off with Joshua Franco versus Andrew Maloney 3. So, Joshua Franco defeats Andrew Maloney by a unanimous decision to cap off the trilogy. My thoughts on it, man, I really underestimated Joshua Franco. I wasn't that high on him before, but now I see how he's really good. And he showed like whenever like someone boxes against him, he still beats him up with his pressure fighting. And I like when people do that, you know. I really underestimated Joshua Franco. I actually think he's actually a really good fighter. I think that he's gonna be something big. And actually, and no disrespect to Andrew Maloney, I still rate him quite highly. It's just Joshua Franco was just the better man. And also, I believe Joshua Franco is gonna be the mandatory to fight the winner of Chocolatito versus Juan Francisco Estrada. So he's gonna be fighting the winner of that, and I'm not gonna lie, that would be a really good fight. But man, dude, I'm really surprised from Josh Franco. I did pick Andrew Maloney to win this fight by stoppage, but I was wrong, man. Joshua Franco showed a lot in this fight, and I just think that Joshua Franco was just a little bit too much for Andrew Maloney, man. But yeah, man, congrats to Joshua Franco. Jason Maloney defeats Joshua Greer by a unanimous decision, and my thoughts on it, this was a very good fight. You know, Joshua Greer did a lot better than the Plania fight. You could say he was actually winning a lot of some of the early rounds, but once Jason Maloney started making adjustments, you know, and started using more head movement, throwing more punches, that's when Joshua Greer started panicking, because Joshua Greer doesn't have a plan. He only has like a plan A. He doesn't have a plan B or C or anything like that. He just sticks with like one thing, and that's box. You know, he doesn't have any other game plan, and I just think that was really the big factor of why he lost this fight. Me personally, I did think that Jason Maloney edged it. I did think I did think he won like around 6 rounds to 5, I would say. No, not 6 rounds to 5, but like maybe like 5 rounds to like 4 or something like that. Good. No, 5 rounds to 3. I had 5 rounds to 3. Good fight. I just think that Maloney was just a step ahead in this fight, but definitely a good fight though. Like it was a very good fight. You know, Joshua Greer did a lot better than I thought. I actually did pick Jason Maloney to win by a stoppage. But it was definitely a good fight, man. Definitely a good fight. I do think Jason Maloney is maybe just a fringe contender. I don't think he can hang with like people like Naoya Inoue, even though he already fought him, or somebody like let's see, like a Donaire or a Casimero or anything like that. I just think that those guys are just on a different level than Jason Maloney. But good win for Jason Maloney. Arnold Barboza Jr. defeats Antonio Moran by a 10-round unanimous decision. My thoughts on it, I wasn't really paying attention to it because there was the Casemiro fight, and then, you know, there was the Seahawks game because I'm a Seahawks fan because I'm from Washington. So I was like, you know, going back and forth. So I didn't really get to see the fight, but when I started watching it, you know, Arnold Barboza, he boxed well, but I didn't really see him box as good, and I expected him to knock out Moran because Moran did get knocked out by Devin Haney, who has no power. And Arnold Barboza, you know, his power might be a little questionable. You know, if he went against a higher level of opponent, you know, like somebody like Jose Ramirez or a Josh Taylor like that, he would just completely get destroyed. Because I just don't think the power of Arnold Barboza really not doing anything. But he does throw a lot of punches. He did get the job done. He did make it easy work. But Moran was also hitting Barboza. You know, Barboza wasn't really using any head movement in this fight. I was expecting him to use some head movement, you know. But still a good win for Arnold Barboza. I'm excited to see what he's going to fight next. In my opinion, I think it's either gonna be Jose Zepeda or Jose Ramirez. But it's good. But I think he's gonna get a good fight next. And yeah. So congrats to Arnold Barboza. Virgil Ortiz Jr. defeats Igor Kavaliauskas in the 8th round. Um, my thoughts on it, definitely good win for Ortiz. I did think Ortiz got dropped. I didn't think it was a slip. I did think that Kavaliauskas was robbed on that drop. I did think that Ortiz got robbed. I think he got rocked on that one, and then he got dropped. Um, but definitely good win. Just that Ortiz guy, man. He got some power, man. That dude's like, it's like this. It's crazy how much power this guy got, man. I do think he needs one more fight until he can fight somebody like Crawford or Errol Spence. I do think both of them would dismantle him. Uh, Maybe somebody like a Regis Prograis or like a Josh Taylor or no Josh Taylor fighting a Jack Catterall or maybe like somebody like that or maybe like a Mikey Garcia. After if he beats any of those kind of guys, then he's definitely ready. But I just think Crawford and Spence, I think that they're both just a step ahead of Ortiz. But it was definitely a good win for Ortiz, and I would like to see what he's going to do in the future. Again, good win for Virgil Ortiz. Joshua Buatsi viciously knocks out Richard Bolotniks in the 11th round. And my thoughts on it, what a knockout by Joshua Buatsi. He damn near took this guy's head off with that punch, bro. His head snapped so far back. Oh my gosh. I was definitely impressed, but, Bolotniks was definitely tough. Even though Buatsi was, like, winning every single round, but you gotta give credit to Bolotniks, man. I thought he was gonna get wiped out in the first, in the early rounds, because he got knocked out like 3 times out of his 5 losses. But definitely credit to him, but credit to Joshua Buatsi for getting the job done, boxing his fight. I was expecting Joshua Buatsi to knock him out earlier. I was getting a little frustrated because I just wanted my prediction to get right. But Joshua Buatsi dominated the fight. He got the job done and knocked out Richard Bolotniks like how everybody asked. Definitely good win for Joshua Buatsi. I would like to see him fight somebody like a Badu Jack or something like that. Maybe a John Pascal or maybe an Alexander Volzdik type of fighter. If Alexander Volzdik can come out of retirement, I think he is coming out of retirement. I think he said that like months ago, but I'm not sure. But I would like to see him fight somebody like that. I think they would put up a good fight against Joshua Buatsi. Love to see those kind of fights. But anyways, congrats to Joshua Buatsi. And anyways, on to the video. Austin Trout wins by a 10-round unanimous decision. And my thoughts on it, I didn't watch the fight at all. But, I'm glad that, Austin Trout got the job done. And yeah, man, that's all I gotta say, man, because I didn't really watch the fight. But I'm glad he got the job done. I think he's gonna bounce back and fight somebody tough, man. But yeah, man. But I'm sorry, I did say before that we're gonna be going on to the video, but I forgot I had to do this. But now it's time to go on to the video. So by the way, in this video I did say the time wrong. Because I did do this video like a week ago because I thought the fight was gonna happen on the 14th, but it's actually happening this week on the 21st. So I did get that mixed up, and I do apologize. But if you hear me say, the fight's this week or it's on the 14th or anything like that, I was completely wrong. It's actually this week. So yeah. Hey, what's up, y'all? Preston from Fight Media 360 here. So this is a quick preview and prediction for Jared Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum. So before we get into all this, I just want to say this fight takes place on Saturday, August the 14th. And this fight will also be taking place on ESPN or ESPN Plus. And also, Gastelum wasn't originally Jared Cannonier's opponent. Obviously, it was actually supposed to be Paulo Costa. Actually, it was actually supposed to be Paulo Costa. But then Paulo Costa pulled out. And speaking of Paulo Costa, again, Paulo Costa is going to be fighting Marvin Vettori, and that's going to be a very, very, very good fight. I'm not going to lie. So yeah. So now we got that out the way. So now let's talk about the odds and then what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So Jared Cannonier is listed as the favorite in this fight. I believe he is a negative 150 favorite over. Yeah, he's a 150 favorite over Kelvin Gastelum. So yeah. So now we got that out the way. So now let's talk about what they need to do. What they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So let's start off with Jared Cannonier. So what I would like to see from Jarrett is I would really like to see him try to outstrike Gastelum, kind of like, slip his strikes, kind of like use your jab and then use your kick to kind of like keep Gastelum at bay, because Gastelum is very, very, very slow and he's quite out of shape. So you should also maybe like absolutely just kick as hard as you can to the body, to tire out Gastelum. And then once you sense that Gastelum is hurt, try to go for the kill, because both of them do hit incredibly hard. So Jarrett needs to just kind of like pick his shots from range, kind of like use your height, and then use your skill set against Gastelum. Kind of like use your jab, kick him to the legs, to kind of like soften up the legs, and then after that, hit him to the body, and then keep just jabbing out that face of Gotham, and also move around, because Gotham doesn't do good against people that move around, because Gotham is the kind of guy that tries to dog you, so he's like a come forward type of fighter and tries to throw bombs at you, but he doesn't have really any like technique to it, so he does get outstruck pretty easily. So he definitely needs to outstrike Gastelum by again using your jab, move your feet around, kick him to the legs, kick him to the body, and then pretty much just dominate the fight by doing that. Because again, he is not good at going against people that are good strikers, kind of like Robert Whitaker. His last fight, he got completely outclassed, lost every single round, and just he couldn't just figure out Robert Whitaker. So Jared Cannonier definitely needs to like do that, kind of like use. I'm using kind of like Robert Whitaker as an example, kind of like do what Robert Whitaker did, bounce on your feet a lot, and pick your shots, because you do not want to afford getting hit by Gastelum, because Gastelum does hit quite hard, and Jared Cannonier doesn't have the best chin in the world, and it definitely proved um in the Robert Whitaker fight, because Robert Whitaker, he just kept hitting him, and Jared Cannonier kept getting rocked by him, so he definitely needs to kind of like not stand in one spot, you know. But the key is just move your feet around a lot more. He does move his feet around, but I would like to see him bounce on his feet a little more, kind of like bounce on your feet. Use your jab to kind of like just jab out Goslow's face and bust his face up with the jab, and then again just really tire out the body with the leg kicks, and really like break down those legs of Kelvin Gastelum by those leg kicks. So that's what Jared Cannonier needs to do to win. So yeah. So now for Kelvin Gastelum. So what I would like to see from Kelvin Gastelum is I would really like to see what he does, and that's to dog Jared Cannonier, because Jared Cannonier, he does move his feet around, but he's not the best of using his head movement, and he should just like kind of like dog him and kind of like go for, and like kind of like go forward to hit, to hit him, you know, because again, Jared Cannonier isn't really good. He's good. He's like decent as moving his feet, but again, he has no head movement. So he definitely just needs to like maybe like fake him out like to the body, and then hit him to the head to like time him, and then drop him. And if you drop him to the ground, just try to beat him up on the ground like that. Just try to beat his face in and try to look for the stoppage. So like Jericho Nair he just really needs to fight like how it usually does, and that is to try to like dog Jared Cannonier. You know, not just use your cardio, because obviously the one with the better cardio in this fight is Jared Cannonier, because Gastelum, he doesn't really have the best cardio in the world, obviously, because of these most of his career, we all know that he just doesn't have the best cardio in the world. So he definitely, and also, so definitely he needs to like work on his cardio in this fight, and then kind of like, get in, like kind of like be in shape in this fight. It kind of sounds like I'm fat shaming him. I'm really not, but kind of like come in this fight in shape, because you can't I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but you can't just come in the fight kind of like fat pretty much against Jared Cannonier, because Gastelum always comes in fights like out of shape. So he definitely needs to be in shape in this fight against Jared Cannonier, because if he's just gonna come in out of shape, Jared Cannonier is just gonna pick him apart and dominate the fight. So he definitely needs to come into the fight in shape, because like again, Gastelum, he's not the best at getting in shape. Again, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm very sorry if this offended y'all. I'm really not trying to, but I'm just saying, um, it's just facts. He cannot come into the fight out of shape, because I feel like Gastelum, if he comes into this fight out of shape, I just think he should move up to light heavyweight, because I feel like it's gonna be way too tough for him to just make 185 every time. I think that would be very tough. So if he doesn't come in shape and work on his cardio in this fight, and then he just is out of shape in this fight, like again, Jared Cannonier is definitely gonna pick him apart. And if that is the case, Gotham should most definitely move up in weight. So yeah. So that's what Kelvin Gastelum needs to do to win. So yeah. So my final prediction for this fight, again, this is gonna be a good fight. This is definitely gonna be a all out brawl. I would rather see Jared Cannonier versus Costa maybe, but this is still a really really good fight. It's definitely a tough prediction for me to do, but you guys want a prediction. So if I would have to pick one, I'll probably have to lean more toward Jared Cannonier by a unanimous decision, mainly because he is more in shape in this fight. I think he's probably going to come in a lot of shape. He definitely has a lot better cardio than Gastelum. And I just think that he's just going to be way too slick for Gastelum. And I just think that the foot, again, Jared Cannonier doesn't have the best footwork, but um, I just think that his footwork would do enough to beat Gastelum. Because Gastelum, he likes to come forward, but he mostly likes to come forward maybe like once in a while. And Jared Cannonier likes to move his feet around, and I just think that's gonna be I think that's gonna be really damn tough. I just think that's gonna be really damn tough for Gastelum, and I just think that because of that, I think that Jared Cannonier is gonna win this fight by a very wide unanimous decision. So yeah, so that's my final prediction. I got Jared Cannonier by a unanimous decision. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston from Fight Media 360, and thank y'all for watching this video.